The internet tried to put together a list for talent versus hard work in Jujutsu Kaisen, and putting Gojo as talent is wild. And the reason it's wild is because they literally have a section for talent and hard work, and they gave it to only Sukuna and not Gojo. And we could debunk the entire notion of Gojo being talent-based by Aamis Q&A for Gojo, where someone asked him, does he have a master to teach him sorcery? And he said, just basic sorcery training was done within the Gojo family. But for his curse technique, he had to do the best on his own using old family records. He had no teacher for Limitless. He had to do all of that on his own. Showing yet again that people simply do not pay attention when it comes to Gojo Satoru. Because even if we were to take only information from the manga, we could easily put together that Gojo is indeed a hardworking character. Because we learned that in the Star Plasma Vessel arc, despite being blessed with the 6 eyes and infinity, he still was not the strongest on his own. Someone like Geto was actually able to match his strength, or at least be comparable. That's why they were labeled as the strongest together, not by himself. But it wasn't until he focused all of his efforts into learning RCT at the last moments of his life that he was able to keep infinity on at all times and be able to effectively use red. Not only that, but was also able to quickly master and use hollow purple as well. And from there, he didn't just stop and settle. He continued to train and learn to use RCT on his brain to keep his technique on at all times. Not only that, but be able to use blue and red simultaneously, teleportation and domain expansion. And we learned that through Yuta, this is not an easy feat, because when Yuta took over Gojo's body, he was still able to go through all of Gojo's memories and use his abilities, but he couldn't use it to the same efficiency that Gojo was able to. Now, immediately I know what some people are going to say. They're going to say, well, Yuta didn't have nearly as much time in Gojo's body. And that's totally fine, except for the fact that he tried to use hollow purple, which immediately debunks the entire notion that Gojo's abilities were purely talent-based. Because despite the fact that he had a blueprint of how to do it because he could look through Gojo's memories, he failed to use hollow purple effectively to the point where it just kind of blew up instead of actually doing a direct attack and destroyed his own domain expansion. That was the first time that Yuta tried to use hollow purple and had a blueprint of Gojo's memories. Gojo didn't have a blueprint of anyone using hollow purple, but the very first time that he used hollow purple after just learning how to use RCT, he used it perfectly and took down Toji. No prep time, no nothing, was mid-battle and couldn't even rely on Infinity because the inverted Spear of Heaven, and immediately just uses hollow purple. That just shows that all of the training that Gojo put in beforehand, like trying to use red and mastering blue, made him more effective to be able to use hollow purple. Not only that, but even Yuta states itself that blue alone was already incredibly difficult to use. So if anyone ever tries to argue hard work versus talent in Jujutsu Kaisen, and they say that Gojo is just talent, they are wrong. Now, they want to do anything like they did with Sukuna and put talent and hard work, that's totally fine because he was blessed with an incredible curse technique. But to say that he wasn't a hard worker just means you don't understand Gojo.